You know it. Okay, so I'm an Indian, I'm also a Christian, and I'm a girl, and I live in America. So that's me being 4 different minorities at the same time. I mean, think about that. That's like being a black, quadriplegic, dyslexic person with a slight lisp. It's crazy. And the thing about, no, that's funny because it's a stereotype, right? The thing about stereotypes is like, they're funny if you just assume they're not true. But if you find a stereotype to be true, it's just all that more funnier. Like, if you're talking to a black individual, and just in the middle of the conversation they go, "Yeah, fool," that's hilarious. It's even funny because I just did it, but I'm not black. But what's even funnier is when people assume stereotypes to be true, like white people, no offense to white people, assume stereotypes to be true. Like, I've been in 7-Elevens, I've just been sitting there I've been there minding my own business, just like looking at gum or soda or whatever. Someone will come into the 7-Eleven, come up to me and be like, hey, can you help me buy my merchandise? And it's like, no, do I look like I work here? Everybody in the store. And for those of you who don't get that, it's the Indians own 7-Eleven thing. But there aren't too many Indians around this area of Maine. No, there aren't. We're kind of scarce. It's because it's wicked cold up here. All the Indians, they're in Texas, where it's fantastically hot, but in cold. I can't say that word. In cold here. So there are no Indians around here. So most of them are in Texas, and there's a good group of them in New York. They're the ones who are driving your cabs. So, you ever go to India? You want to get from India? Ever go to New York? You want to get from point A to point B? That's who's taking you. It's us people. So play nice. Now, I went on a trip to New York a couple summers back. Now, New York is a very nice place. There's like this generalization that people in New York are really mean. It's not true. People in New York are really nice. It's just they like to yell when they talk. Just whatever they say, it's yelling. I was in a Dunkin' Donuts. They have this weird security system on the door. You have to like wait for the door to beep before you push it open. I don't know why they do that, but you have to wait for it to beep before you push it open. I didn't know that because I live in Maine. You push the door open to go to the bathroom, but pushing the door open, and I didn't know how it works. So about after a minute, I had everyone in the entire Dunkin' Donuts yelling at me on how to push the door open. They're all sitting there like, "You gotta wait for the beep!" And I'm sitting there, okay, push the door open, okay. And I finally got it open, and so I'm like, thank you, everyone in the Dunkin' Donuts. You're welcome! Crazy stuff. Yeah, so New Yorkers like to yell. Indians like to yell too. Actually, our language a little bit is a lot of just yelling back and forth at each other. Like, I listen to conversations between my mom and dad, and they're saying perfectly normal things. It's like, "Hi, honey, how are you? Good, did you buy milk? Yeah, I'll go get some." But it sounds like this. Sí, mira buena. I threw a little Spanish in there. Mira buena, mira boy, bye. Sounds just like that. But people, we like to yell at each other. It gets the point across if you're yelling at someone. It's just, bah, bah, and it drills right in your head. Teachers like to yell at us too. We all know that. And while we're on the subject of school, there's this one method of torture that they drill in us in schools. It's called the SAT. And as we all know, SAT stands for suck test. Throw the middle word in there, suck test. I can't say the middle word. But SAT, and to complement the SAT, we have something called an ACT. And to complement that, we have something called an AP test. We also have the NWEA, the NCAA, the LPNA, and then middle schoolers have this weird thing called a kneecap. What's up? They throw acronyms for all these tests. I don't get it. Why don't they just call it a test? Because this is the test you need to take. Take it. But no, it's called the SAT reasoning test. There's nothing reasonable about this test. Okay, they make you go to school on a Saturday morning at an ungodly hour, and they expect you to sit there for like 5 hours taking a test. Not reasonable at all. And have you ever read some of the questions on these tests? Not reasonable questions at all. It's like, if Jim was walking 5 hours north and Sally walks in the same direction at 24 miles an hour, what is the name of the store that they meet at? I don't know. C. And the other thing about that is they make us sign confidentiality things when we take the SAT. They make us write out our names, say, "Oh, we will not copy or distribute or talk about." We talk about about tests all the time. Nobody follows that rule, but we promise not to talk about the test. But what is it they think we're gonna do when we talk about the test? They think like a group of kids get together after the fatigue. Oh, what was the answer to this question? I didn't get the answer to that question, did you? Yeah, it was C. And then they all go back and change their answers? No, once you turn in the test, you don't get it back. It's weird. That's SAT. Another thing they use to torture us is essays. My English teacher standing right over there, just giving me a stare. Essays. Now, definition of an essay is explain something in 5 paragraphs that could easily be explained with 1 sentence. That's what an essay is. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. Seriously, it's like Civil War. Oh, I had this, hold on. Civil War. I had something about the Civil War, but it's a question about the Civil War, and you have to respond with 5 paragraphs, and you can just say, they fought, the end. That's what an essay is. And what really annoys me is when an essay isn't a question, it's just sort of a statement that you have to write about. Like, World War II was one of the greatest wars of all time. Write an essay. Okay. I'm about to agree. Yes, sure. Whatever you give me an A. That's all I want. Oh yeah, that's all I got for today. Thanks for listening, man.